Welcome to the Week 12 Power Rankings episode here on That's Good Sports. It is NFL Thanksgiving week, which means these ranks will be relevant for 2 days. I'm going to spin the curse wheel to see who gets the curse at the end of the episode, but considering not even my adorable toddler last week could revive its powers against the Chiefs, I'm scared this wheel is as irrelevant as my Broncos. So stay tuned to see if this little son of a gun also fumbles. Whoa, what's that? What's that gonna do to the curse? Don't know. That was a good spin though. All right, this week, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Arizona Cardinals are on byes. Thank God I don't have to put the Chiefs at number one on this week's rankings. If you're new here, teams on a bye week don't get on the list. What I did want to say in regard to the Chiefs is you're lucky. You're very lucky that the Chargers were too stupid to defend not just Travis Kelce, but Travis Kelce and the Chiefs offense running the exact same play that beat you in overtime last season to beat you last week. Now, the New York Jets have fallen off the power rankings altogether, and now Zach Wilson's number one supporter, head coach Robert Saleh, has stated that Zach's job is up in the air. And if you are the Jets and you are playing for this season, the decision is pretty simple. You bench Zach Wilson and you start Mike White or Joe Flacco, because right now both of those quarterbacks give you a much better chance to win. Don't believe me? Well, according to Elaine, Tua Tagovailoa could throw 150 straight incompletions and he'd still have a higher passer rating than Zach Wilson. Just one of many alarming stats linked to Zach. Number 10, I've got the Commanders. Congrats, Washington, you jumped the Giants. You have won 5 of 6, and nobody can deny how impressive that is. The reason you're winning right now is the greatest and truest of football cliches: running the football and playing great defense. 3 picks and 3 fumble recoveries in the last 2 games, 153 and 152 rushing yards to complement that. And as long as Taylor Heineke doesn't get too Favre out there, you can keep winning. Now, I do love me some Taylor Heineke. Anyone who has watched this channel for the last few years knows that. But I don't think he's a sustainable option at QB. I would continue to start him over Carson Wentz. That's a no-brainer. But Washington is emerging as a team, in my eyes, that are simply a very good QB away from being a legit threat. Heineke has something Wentz doesn't, and that's game day energy that his teammates gravitate to. He's got gravitas. He's a baller with a limited skill set. Also, he may just throw a more catchable ball than Carson Wentz. 0 dropped passes by Washington since he entered the lineup compared to 13 with Wentz. Number 9, I've got the Bengals. Bad, good, bad, good, bad, good. Such is the 2022 Bengals. I sort of want to give you the Chiefs treatment and just say nothing about your team. Now, I do that despite the Chiefs, but whatever I say about Cincinnati, you do the opposite the next week and make me look stupid. And I don't need any help in that department, Cincinnati. I mean, just look at me. I say your offense has clicked. Next week, you only score 17 and lose to the Ravens. I say your defense is elite. The next week, the Saints put up 26 on you, but you still win. I say you can't run the football. Then Joe Mixon drops 153 and 4 rushing touchdowns against the Panthers. So instead, I will say, Cincy, you are a football team. Oh no, check back next week to see if the Bengals have entered the World Cup. Today's episode is sponsored by my friends at Underdog Fantasy. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com and use my code THATSGOOD when you sign up. There's a link below for this week's Thanksgiving fantasy contest. It's a $10 6-person league since there are only 3 games on Thanksgiving, but it should be fun. Plus, Underdog has the turkey for their weekly Battle Royale contest. That's $20,000 to the first place winner. And I've been doing the Battle Royale contests every week. They're a lot of fun, even though I keep losing. If you want to use your brain for the pick'em games and live in one of the qualifying states, you can win up to 20 times your money. Build a pick'em entry with 2 to 5 players and guess higher or lower in stat totals for the week. Again, use my code THAT'SGOOD and the link in the description over at UnderdogFantasy.com, and they'll double your first deposit up to $100. Number 8, the Vikings. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Now, I'm not dropping you all the way down to 8 just because you lost by 37 points to the Cowboys. I'm dropping you for not making sure that every staff member at your stadium knows who Johnny Sins is. Even Johnny Sins saw the pounding you were taking and was like, whoa, 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 ease up a bit there, Dallas. If you are one of the few people who don't know, Johnny Sins is a very well-known male porn star, and he was slapped on the Jumbotron at the Vikings game with a fake tweet saluting the military. Nothing gets Americans more hard than trying to show how much they respect the military, and nothing gets harder than Johnny Sins. What's hilarious is you could show these two images next to each other and people would point to the guy on the left and say, that's the porn star, if I had to guess. Now, Dallas exposed your offensive line, and if Kirk Cousins doesn't have enough time to get Justin Jefferson more than 3 catches, you could lose half of your games moving forward, Minnesota. The good news, that's still enough to win the division. Number 7, I've got the Ravens. Baltimore didn't look all that impressive, especially early on offense against the Panthers, but a win is a win is a win. That said, the Ravens defense starting to round into shape. Marlon Humphrey didn't allow a single catch and picked off a pass in the win over Carolina. And Kyle Hamilton has become the number 1 graded rookie according to Pro Football Focus, for whatever that's worth. Baltimore is on a very ugly 4-game win streak right now, and I just think we will see Lamar Jackson resume some sort of dominant form. He's too good not to. And if he doesn't, then maybe Greg Roman needs to change things up a bit. Number 6, I've got the Tennessee Titans. Before their Thursday win against the Packers, the Titans were a team that just won ugly. But now they're really hitting their stride. The big revelation in the Packers game was the emergence of Treylon Burks, who caught 7 passes for over 100 yards. They should also have some comfort knowing that if Ryan Tannehill gets hurt again, they can turn to a solid backup quarterback, Derrick Henry. Number 5, I've got the 49ers. Well, it took one dominant game in primetime in Mexico to get the sports world to put themselves firmly on the 49ers bandwagon. I do like that Jimmy G is finally getting some respect, and we saw how dynamic the Niners offense could be with all of their weapons healthy. Kittle, Debo, Ayuk, Mitchell, and of course ESPN's favorite first ever woman NFL player, Christina McCaffrey. Don't forget, ESPN is owned by Disney. And this is the best fucking animation they could come up with. No wonder Disney fired their CEO and brought back Bob Iger yesterday. Kittle and Ayuk each scored 2 touchdowns, which was the first time the Niners had 2 players with multiple receiving TDs since the year 2000. Jimmy G is officially in the top 5 QB discussion for EPA. You can see Tua is number 1, which makes sense. Of course, the loudest voice for Save the Dolphins would be number 1 in the Environmental Protection Agency. 4 straight wins against your own division, San Francisco. And since the Broncos have your draft pick, you are the clear favorite to win the Super Bowl, since everything must go wrong for my team. And your defense is top 5 in points allowed while also being best against the run in the league. Number 4, the Dallas Cowboys. Tony Pollard is Weapon X. Jerry Jones and his love affair with Zeke Elliott is the most damaged Cowboy relationship since Brokeback Mountain. Against Minnesota, Tony Pollard was the Cowboys' leading rusher and leading receiver. 199 yards of total offense from Pollard. I don't mind Pollard and Zeke sharing carries. You want to keep Pollard fresh, but look, they each got 15 carries in the Vikings game. 80 yards for Tony, 42 for Zeke. So moving forward, if we see even one game where Dallas hands off the ball to Zeke more than Tony, I will personally curse you, Dallas. And it's not just this game. Tony Pollard averages 2 more yards per carry than Zeke Elliott this season. And it's on just 6 fewer carries, so the sample size is about the same. You're literally making your offense worse and less efficient when you give more carries to Zeke. Kellen Moore, my advice to you is don't be cute, don't be a fucking idiot. More touches for Tony. If only you still had Tony Romo and had acquired Kadarius Toney. Then we'd have Tony. Number 3, the Dolphins. All right, Miami, you're fresh off a bye week, and you get another bye week as you play the Texans, the team primarily responsible for helping you rebuild. Now take it easy on them, Miami. They've given you so much. Last week, I may have put you at number 1, but you were on a bye. You're on a 4-game win streak, but I have one major concern, your defense. Do you think Brian Flores would come back just as a defensive coordinator? I'm kidding, but it might help. Right now, of all the teams on this list, the Dolphins defense is giving up the most points per game, 24.1. Most concerning, though, is that Jets game way back at the beginning of October, they put up 40 on you. And now that we have a bigger sample size on Zach Wilson, that scares me a little bit. You've allowed 67 fourth quarter points this year, tied for 7th worst with Arizona. Your red zone scoring defense is 4th worst. Rushing touchdowns, passing touchdowns allowed, both bottom 5, just 8 turnovers by the defense, 3rd worst. That's why I couldn't put you ahead of the Bills today. Honestly, you can be bad in all of those categories on defense if your defense just finds a way to force more turnovers. Give Tua and that offense some layups with a short field, and it won't matter. Number 2, that's right, the Bills. The Bills don't have anyone falling over like Josh Allen recently, but last Sunday was a nice flex of their dominance over a subpar team. They started slow in that game, but got the win. I found something interesting about the Bills. The last 8 teams who have beaten the Bills lost the following week. And I think that just goes to show what it takes to defeat Buffalo, because opponents tend to go limping into their next battle. Now, I'm not sold you should be number 2 on this list, Buffalo. I am concerned about Josh Allen's elbow, but I trust your defense. Holding Nick Chubb to 19 yards means you can stop anyone. And hopefully you learn that a steady dose of Devin Singletary and James Cook is a great thing for your offense. And number 1, the Eagles. That shit was for Frank Reich. God, I love Nick Sirianni. Obviously, the Eagles fall behind to the Colts, but mounted a resilient comeback to improve to 9-1. That's really no accident because their quarterback tends to finish games well. Jalen Hurts has a passer rating of 120.8 in the 4th quarter and overtime on games this season, which is 2nd best in the league. Losing Dallas Goedert to injury is a huge blow to that offense, but you shall bounce back. Stop turning the ball over, Philly, and as long as the game's within reach, I trust Jalen Hurts to get you win after win for the remainder of the season. All right, let's spin the wheel, the curse wheel, to see who gets the official Week 12 curse. Come on, back strong, baby. We need to show that we still can do it. Maybe all of the Chiefs will be arrested on the bye week to prove you're still valuable. Number 8. Looks like you've committed the ultimate Johnny Sin, Minnesota. Thanks for watching the Thanksgiving week power rankings. Please come back tomorrow, Wednesday, where I will have a video about what every NFL team is not thankful for.